Hello, I'm here to share some exciting updates today. So, one of the realizations I've come to is that I didn't really do YouTube the right way, and especially not as a member of this little corner, as it's sometimes called, because I like to answer my questions in writing. I like to do it off screen, and I don't bring the requisite curiosity that is maybe the best for play or being a host, even though I like hosting and having people tell me their story. What I really did was I set myself up to be more of a podcast guest, I guess you could say. Certainly, part of that was due to the process of writing a book. And it's very hard to have a book that is not about ideas, and having your identity associated too much with ideas makes you less of a person in some aspects to certain people. Nevertheless, this is where I stand at this point. So I'm moving forward with it the best way I can. So one of the things that I've done to try to make it as easy as possible for people to facilitate this transition into the more of the presenting myself as the guest rather than the host is make my work as accessible as possible. So as you know, the book has been released. You can download the PDF if you go to the all the chapters are recorded. You go to the last chapter, there's a link for the PDF. I may just throw it in this one as well. But what the other thing that I'm including, a link here, is a notebook LM setup that it contains it contains the whole book. It contains the vast majority of my YouTube videos and almost all of the Substacks that I've posted either under my name or Tectonic School name. And so you can go in here and you can type whatever you want, and it will give you it'll answer your questions. So one way that this can be used very effectively is if you have written something, you can add your actually, I don't know if you can add things, but you can get all these sources, and then with the PDF you can create your own. But essentially, put your items in there too, and ask it about where is the comparison? Where do I stand on your certain issues? Or if you're writing something like Paul Vanderklay has started writing all sorts of things on Substack, and you can just put a question in there, maybe about a certain passage of scripture. So for one thing, you can ask, let's see, what scriptures have been referenced in these works? Let's see. That's a pretty broad question, but I'm assuming it's going to give me a pretty good list. It certainly does when I do it just with the book. Now, this is, it's going to take a bit because it's going through 186 different sources, but it will come back with a result. So that's something we'll check back on. But there's another announcement, which is now that I've written one book, released as a rough draft, I took a small subsection of that and reworked it, added some more material to create a new book, of which is like 30% recycled maybe, but better edited, more coherent. And I've put it into a new book. So this book is called The Way of the Tecton, an embodied vision for crafting an integrated life. It's much more focused. It's more direct to the point, and it's a lot shorter. As it stands now, I put it into the Amazon thing. It comes out at 260 pages, but it's already going to be reduced because some of the chapters, I put these interludes in, and this is kind of fun. When you're self-publishing, you can have as much space as you want. almost. And so I put some interlude kind of essays in between the different sections. But my plan is to remove those, so reduce the bulk of it a little further. And instead, I'm just going to put a QR code so people can read those digitally as they're going through. So they're going to be on the Substack, and I'm going to put them behind the paywall. But anybody who buys the book will be given access behind the paywall for like a year or whatever, free. It's pretty easy to do that. So that's kind of the plan for what I'm going to do there. Now, this thing has brought up some results, so you can check out what that's saying there in regards to what scriptures are covered. So here's going through all the stuff in the Torah: Genesis, Numbers, Deuteronomy, well, Leviticus is in there too, and Exodus. Yep, Joshua, Judges. So this is telling all the different times of reference various scriptures, and it gives you the little quotes from where they're from. So as you can see, I got a pretty good representation here. This is all Old Testament still, getting into the poetry books, the prophets. I'm a little skinny on the prophets, I think, but there's still a good bit in there. And then quite a bit pulled from the Gospels. And of course, the epistles and Acts and epistles, all that. So you can see these are all the different times that I've referenced various scriptures in the book, videos, essays, etc. So if anybody's wanting to study something and maybe you want to see, hey, did Michael ever look into, well, Revelation 2021? Yeah, that's in there. And or whatever, do we talk about Colossians? Yep, we talked about Colossians several times. Looks like it's referencing Roy Clauser, and I think that must be from a video. But there's all sorts of stuff, so it's pretty easy to use. And the other thing I did previously is I just said, like, give me a biography of myself, and it spit out a nice, complete thing. Pretty good detail. It really does get all the stuff right, and the sources are there, so you can go back and check it. But that's just something I wanted to share because I think could be useful, and then hopefully people will take advantage of that. And think of me when you are doing your projects. And of course, the goal for 2026 is that I have to just get out there and be annoying to people and insist upon myself, because apparently this is the way that things get done. It's a phenomenon that I don't like, but at least I guess I can speak with more conviction when I say I have interesting things to say about this topic. I'm not just saying that. Like, I have some proof here, so that's good. So those are going to be the goals for going forward in the future. And what I'm going to do with this new book. So like what I did in the previous couple months here, I started recording all the chapters, putting them out on YouTube. Now my goal is that when I make this, so the next round of revisions, I'm going to do it live while I'm reading. I'm going to read it, do the edits in the text, then the text will be ready to send off. Then at the same time, I'm going to edit the videos. I'm going to try to add visuals throughout so that they're better produced for YouTube. At the same time, I'll have the audio. I'll separate the audio so I can at the same time, so it's easier to put into Audible. Do it that way, and then those things will probably all go behind the paywall for the time being on Substack, perhaps along with the chapters. But for the time being, you will be able to see it when it's happening live, but then it's going to go unlisted. So you won't be able to watch it and replay. So you would have to be subscribed and paying attention if you wanted to hear any of this fresh new stuff as it comes out. You have to. The only way to catch it at first is going to be live. So make sure you get those notification bells turned on. And, you know, I have more time to do just chatting streams. So people need to be paying attention to this channel, because I've been doing quite a few streams just chatting or whatever. And yeah, I get the same crew, the people that see it regular, but I think there's probably just a lot of people that aren't aware that this is a place where you can often come in and chat. So keep an eye out for those things, and check out the links and see what you think, and then come talk to me so we can have a good conversation.